Title: She cheated, got pregnant, and still asked me to take her back. Chapter 1: 10 Years and 1,000 Cracks. I thought 10 years meant something. We were young when we married, me 24, her 22. Bright-eyed, hopeful, and honestly, unprepared for the storms we were about to bring into each other's lives. I wasn't the man she needed. I yelled too often, lost my temper too quickly, and said things I can't take back. Worse sometimes, I laid my hands on her. Only a few times, but even one time is too many. She stayed. Year after year she stayed. And every time she cried I said sorry. And every time I swore I'd change but didn't. I was blind to how much I was killing the love she once gave so freely. It wasn't until year 7, when she finally blocked one of my hits, that I saw it in her eyes. Something had snapped. She didn't leave. Not right away. But she started fading. I begged her to stay. I promised her therapy. And for the first time I meant it. I did the work. I faced myself. And I stopped hurting her. But by then, the damage was already done. She began drifting further. Emotionally cold. Distant. And one day, she told me she'd be seeing other people. And I just stood there. Silent. As the woman I once destroyed, started destroying me in return. But what came next? I never could have prepared for. Chapter 2: Her freedom, my silence. After she told me she was going to give herself a chance with different men, I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I just nodded. Because deep down I thought this was my penance. I had taken so much from her, years of peace, safety, love. Maybe this was justice. She went out often. Started dressing differently. Partying. Laughing. Living a life where I wasn't invited. Year 6. I caught her flirting with a bouncer over text. My stomach dropped. I confronted her. Tracked her phone. Found her standing outside his apartment, laughing with a friend like nothing mattered. I cried for 2 straight weeks. I couldn't breathe. But I didn't leave. Instead I stayed, and I waited. Waited for her to stop. Waited for the girl I married to come back. She didn't. There were more men, different names, different numbers. Nothing physical, she swore. Just talking. Just emotional connection. I believed her. Not because I trusted her, but because I needed to. Then came the move to the new city, the one we always dreamed of. A fresh start, right? She agreed. We bought a house. We tried. But just weeks later, a new name. A new man. He wasn't like the others. He was dangerous. Tattoos, a criminal past, carried a gun. She said they shared trauma. Said he understood her. I told her it was a mistake. That he'd break her. She didn't listen. She moved out. And that was the last time I saw the girl I once married. Because the woman who returned? She came back pregnant, with his child. Chapter 3: The Anniversary and the Truth. Our 10th anniversary was supposed to be everything. We had plans. A weekend getaway. Letters we promised to write to each other. Small gifts hidden around the house. Instead, I showed up to her apartment. Alone. With gifts I didn't even want to give anymore. She answered the door with a tired smile, and a belly that wasn't mine. I knew she was pregnant. She had told me days before. But standing there, seeing it, broke something in me that had barely survived until now. Still I handed her the gifts. Not because she deserved them, but because I couldn't stand to break one more promise. She cried. Not for me. Not for us. But because she had finally realized the man she left me for was worse than any version of me she had known. He tracked her every move. Controlled her. Lied to her. She had to ask permission just to sleep in his daughter's room. She was partying with him nearly every night, spiraling while trying to keep a job. He broke up with her 5 times in 2 months, but still managed to get her pregnant. And when she told him, he said he did it on purpose. That he wanted to trap her. That he planned to make her black out, on the night he knew she was fertile. She told me she couldn't even remember it. That she was unconscious. That he just told her they had slept together the next morning. She said she never wanted to be physical with him. That she only ever crossed that line with him. That she regretted it all. And maybe she was telling the truth. Maybe she was a victim too. But I couldn't unsee what I saw. I couldn't unknow what I knew. She said she needed help. Not just with the pregnancy, but with everything. And somehow, after all this, I helped her. I stood by her. And I watched as the woman who once hated me for hurting her became a reflection of everything she used to fear. Chapter 4: Ghosts and Boundaries. It's been 6 months since the abortion. 6 months of couples therapy, forced small talk, and pretending like maybe, just maybe, we could salvage something from the wreckage. She apologized. Said the affair was the worst decision of her life. That the pregnancy opened her eyes. That she finally saw me for who I am now, not the man I used to be. She called him trash. Said she hated him. But then, he messaged her again. At first she ignored it. Told me she didn't want anything to do with him. But after a few days she started changing her tune. She said she wanted closure. That she still had feelings she needed to understand. That his daughter missed her. His daughter. A little girl she bonded with for just 2 months. Now suddenly she was weeping over this child like she had raised her. I told her not to answer his call. She didn't care. I asked her to let me be present during the conversation if she had nothing to hide. She refused. So she took the call, alone. Said it was all about the daughter. Said he apologized. That he cried. That he just needed to get things off his chest. And maybe I could have let that go. But then he called again. This time I gave her an ultimatum. If you answer, you record it. She said no. I told her our relationship couldn't survive this. That every second she gave him chipped away at the little love I had left. She didn't flinch. She answered anyway. Afterwards she came in glowing. Said the daughter wanted to FaceTime her. Like it was some warm reunion. I didn't care. I grabbed my stuff. Went to the gym to cool off. While I was gone she texted me, accusing me of abandonment. Of not caring about her triggers, her traumas, her wounds. But how do you stay when someone refuses to see the bleeding wounds they're leaving in you? I'm the one who used to hurt her. Now she's doing it back. And somehow I'm still the one apologizing. But maybe the scariest part is, I'm starting to wonder if this is just who we are. Chapter 5, The Final Thread. I wanted to believe love could survive anything. Abuse. Betrayal. Even a pregnancy by another man. But what I'm starting to see is that survival isn't the same as healing. We've been clinging to a corpse of a marriage, stitched together by guilt, regret, and just enough hope to keep breathing. But not enough to live. She says she wants to rebuild. That she finally sees how deep my remorse runs. That she understands what she's done too. But when I ask her to block him, fully, permanently, she says no. When I ask for transparency, she tells me it's her business. And when I finally get the courage to set a boundary, she calls it control. This isn't love. This is a long, slow drowning. The truth is, I don't hate her. I pity her. And maybe a part of me still loves the girl she used to be. But the woman in front of me now? She's a stranger I've suffered beside for far too long. And maybe I'm not a saint for staying through the pain. Maybe I'm just a coward who thought punishment was the same as redemption. I don't know if I've been a fool, or if I've simply been faithful to a memory that no longer exists. But as I watched her smile at her phone screen, waiting to FaceTime his daughter again, I realized something that shattered me more than the affair, more than the lies, more than even the pregnancy. She still has a door open to him. And as long as that door exists, there's no room for me inside. And that's when I knew. It's time to finally walk away. Not because I stopped loving her, but because I started loving myself.